Hello everyone. First video, I wanted to make something a bit simple and something I didn't really see anyone talk about. This, if you saw the title of the video, you realize that shotguns aren't really used that much in tf2 as secondaries. So before the video starts, I'm just going to say I'm not going to talk about the scout because he has a scatter gun, not a shotgun. These basically have no differences, but yeah. And engineer, because he uses this as his primary, and the only primary that isn't a shotgun is the Thompson. No matter what you say, the Rescue Ranger is a shotgun, it just shoots bolts instead of pellets. Anyway, so first of all, first chapter, why do we have shotgun? Well, three of the classes that have shotgun in their secondary are the soldier, the pyro, and the heavy as their secondary weapon. But why? Why does the soldier have the shotgun and not a pistol or an SMG? That's curious. Why? Those three classes specifically have the shotgun in their secondary? Well, each of them serves a different purpose. For soldier, it's one purpose. It's to not kill yourself when you shoot other people with the blast of your rockets. So that you whip out the shotgun, and when you shoot the people, you don't shoot yourself at the same time. Easy. Now, before anyone comes in the comments and saying, what about fighting pyros so that they can't air blast your shotgun shells? Back in 2007, air blast wasn't a thing. Yeah. Air blast got added in 2008. Almost literally not a year, it was like the 15th of June, so about 8 months after the game came out. Yeah, 2008, that's a lot. So Pyro was literally just the W plus M1 machine. His whole purpose was just to run around and set people on fire. Pretty easy. The soldier the pyro, it has three reasons why it has a shotgun. First, burst damage. Like you know, flamethrowers do sustain fire damage. That means it's a weapon that just constantly do a bit of damage. Constantly. But that means you have to track your enemy. And those weapons are very different from burst damage, like shotguns. Also not to confuse them with semi-automatic weapon. The only two sustain weapon in the game are the miniguns and the flamethrower, because they literally just shoot. They don't have a clip. They just constantly shoot until you run out of ammo. When the pistol needs to reload and the SMG also needs to reload. That's why they're called semi-automatic. But yeah. And the difference being that burst damage weapons do damage a lot of damage in one shot, but not all the time. Like there's always a little pause, and missing one shot can you'll miss a lot of damage when you miss a lot of thing with the flamethrower and minigun with the flamethrower, but it's not very important. You just miss like what, 5-10 damage. It usually won't matter. Anyway, so sometimes you don't have that. You don't have time to just stay there and turn your opponent into a barbecue. Sometimes they will have enough time to turn you into a Swift cheese. So that's why the shotgun is here. If you need damage now, you can do damage now. Boom! No more. Second reason, water. Like you may know, water and fire aren't very good friends. I mean, if you try shooting your flamethrower under the water, I don't know if you've seen, but weirdly, it does not work. Only bubble comes out and not fire. That's not fair. That's not realistic. I mean, you could put fire to the water, right? Right? Anyways, jokes aside, this helps you shoot people underwater. Easy, pretty easy. And I can hear some nerds saying, would I even know what a watery map back in 2007? Yes, 2-Fort existed back in 2007 alongside Bolt, but that's not the topic of the video. Yeah, so shotgun, what's for that? Third reason, finding other pyros. So have you ever seen two pyros W plus M1 at each other? Most of the time, the one coming on top will just survive with like either die at the same time, or one survive with like 3 HP. Because they have afterburn immunity. And so, sometime, well, you need the shotgun to deal with other pyros. Because flaming them might not be the answer. I mean, it's almost a gamble to know if you're both gonna die, or if he's even gonna die, or if you're even gonna die. That's like a gamble. You never really know who's going to die first, or even if anyone's going to survive at all. So this shotgun gives you kind of an advantage, to be sure to just deal damage to the max. You don't lose damage because of the afterburn immunity, because there's no afterburn. It's easy as that. So, and lastly, heavy. Why does he have a shotgun? Well, for two reasons. One, burst damage like pyro, but the other is a bit different. It's for mobility. So back in 2007, heavy was like really slow. But when I say slow, imagine he had like the modern day breast beast with every downside but no upside, no damage bonus, resistance and all. Just longer spin up time and slower movement pin when revved up. That's basically 2007 heavy, a bit faster when revved up. But yeah, it took almost a full second to spin down, and you moved at 2 miles per hour with this. You were slow as fuck. Also, there was a bit of an annoying thing. I don't know if it's still a thing today, but if it is, they greatly buffed it. But back in the day, there was ramp up that you could get with the minigun. The way you had this ramp up is when you shoot your gun for 1 second. After this 1 second, as long as you were firing, you got that ramp up. Revving up the minigun didn't count, so even if you have your minigun revved down for a second, you will not get the ramp up. And if you stop shooting for a second and then reshooting again while still having your gun down, you lost the ramp up, my guy. So yeah, you had to wait a full 2 seconds if you were caught off guard to get your full damage. And let's just say that 2 seconds is a lot of time for someone to just fucking kill you. So yeah. Sorry. So there was a lot of... So the shotgun was a good option to move around the map with, so that if you get bomb rushed, you had a way to instantly deal damage. Of course, I didn't mention also the most important thing of secondary is that it's in case you run out of primary ammo. But that's kind of the point of like every fucking secondary in the entirety of the video games, not even Team Fortress 2, but pretty much every game. So I didn't point that out, but it's especially true for Soldier, who has only 24 rockets. He can have a bit more or a bit less, depending on the weapon. Like with the Liberty Launcher you get 25 rockets, because you get an extra one in the clip. With the Black Box you get 23, because of the -1 in the clip. The Carmangler you have infinite ammo, which is very good, and the Direct Hit and Airstrike are completely similar. Oh, and the Rocket Jumper has like 64 ammo, but that doesn't really matter. Anyway, next question. Why aren't they used now? Well, that's a good question. I mean, we know why they're used and it's still relevant. Heavy is still a bit slow. Pyro still needs a way to deal with other pyros, underwater, and burst damage. And Soldier still need a way to defend himself up close. So why aren't they used? Well, what are they replaced by? That's a question that we could answer this question with another one. By what are they replaced? If we know what they are replaced by, we can know what these weapons do that the shotguns don't. Soldier, you'll see Soldier have two types of secondary. Almost never in any other. The gunboats or the banners. Gunboats are made to take less self-damage, so that you could have, so that rocket jumping doesn't, so that you can more rocket jump. And banners to help out yourself and your team with passive bonus like the conch passive healing or the batterion's become plus 20%, no, not 20%, plus 20 max health. And the buff they give when you fully charge them. The Pyro is usually replaced by the flare guns. The flare gun, the detonator, or the scorch shot, which are damage weapon, except the detonator, which is mostly used for movement, kind of like a mini rocket jump. And lastly, heavy. Do I even need to say anything? If he's not working the sandwich, I mean, most heavy just run the fucking sandwich. If they're not, either they're running the banana to be special, they're running the steak to be mimi, to just meme around, or they're a fat scout, which is one of the only way you actually see a heavy use his shotgun. Anyway, so you see that a lot of them are about utility, except for Pyro, but a lot of them are for utility. That's pretty interesting. So those classes prefer sacrificing damage for utility most of the time. Why is that? Well, soldier usually don't fucking care that, I mean, it doesn't really matter that you fucking, I mean, for soldier it doesn't really matter to hurt yourself while shooting rocket at people up close if you have passive healing, more health, or just take less damage from your own rocket. For Pyro, who needs Pyro? You have a Pyro where there's so many maps in the game, water is barely a problem, and when it is, usually you'll see them rock out the Neon Annihilator, or just never see them go into water. And for burst damage, well, they have the flare gun, which is burst damage. And for heavy, well, heavy did become a lot more mobile since 2007 and rely less on the shotgun and having a way to heal yourself. Burst damage is still good, but because everything is faster, it's actually pretty fast to deal damage fast with the heavy, even without burst. And healing is extremely powerful on the class that has the most amount of health. The more health you have, the longer you'll stay in fight. And with something that can give you max HP in 4 seconds, that's pretty powerful. Now, how can we fix this? I mean, there is a way. I mean, the only way I see is... Oh, yeah, fuck. No. Never mind. I skipped a section. Why aren't the shotgun used? Well, we just kind of saw why, but why the stock shotgun is overshadowed. But what about the other? I mean, Pyro, Heavy, and Soldier have 3 shotgun each. Pyro, with all of them sharing the stock shotgun and the panic attack. The Soldier sharing the reserve shooter with Pyro, and Heavy having its own shotgun, the family business. But why aren't they used compared to the others? Well, misinformately, for the same reason as why the stock shotgun isn't used. They prefer utility over burst damage. Except for Pyro. But Pyro likes the flare gun because it's more burst damage, and compared to shotgun, it works on range, and even though they can't fight underwater, it's not that big of a problem. So yeah. So the only way to, okay, now that we've seen this, and the family business is just shotgun that just kill like class faster if you're good at aiming, and punishes you way more if you miss, because you miss faster but you hit faster. That's kind of you see what I mean. Last chapter, how can we fix this? Well, unfortunately, I don't see any way to fix the shotguns themselves. I mean, the thing is that we're not fighting on the fair ground. Shotguns are used for damage most of the time, but most classes prefer utility over damage, and we can't really. I mean, it wouldn't be. I don't really see how we can buff the damage of something. I mean, that's pretty weird and hard to balance two weapons when they are not doing the opposite. Because one is going to be used for a reason and one for another. That is the problem. They don't fight on even ground. You can't balance these same things, but you can give them. You can try to make new shotguns that could be used. And yeah, we're never going to get new weapon into the game, but let a man dream. Am I right? Anyways, what am I proposing? Well, we just saw what they were replaced by. Let's try to fuse this utility with a shotgun. For Soldier, I had a pretty good idea. The thing with Soldier is that, yes, it's good against Pyros, but most soldiers don't fucking care. Like, they know the Pyro can just air blast, but they don't fucking care. Either they will be too stubborn and try to outsmart him, or they will just run away and not fight the Pyro. That's pretty much it. Even if they had a chance to equip the shotgun, and they know they're going to have it, they prefer not to. So, we have to give them a utility. And I had a pretty interesting idea. My idea is to make a shotgun that has less ammo in the clip, that probably has like less ammo, but every like 75 damage you deal with your shotgun, you get 1 ammo back in the clip of your rocket launcher, no matter the rocket launcher. It would be a pretty nice idea on paper. I mean, usually Soldier, if they use their secondary, that means they probably because they run out of a rocket, and it's pretty easy to run out of a rocket. But getting 1 rocket back into your reserve ammo isn't really that big of a difference. Like, if you kill the opponent, you're going to get an ammo pack, so I don't really see what's the point of doing this. But an ammo in the clip that could let you deal damage, switch back to your rocket launcher, shoot a rocket, and then switch back to your shotgun, which could make some combo playstyle. I'd also give this probably a deploy or a holster penalty, switch pen or a switch to and switch off speed, because yeah, it would be a bit, but it would be still pretty fucking strong. Now, will it be overpowered? Maybe, but saying it like this, you are taking a gamble, because that means because you don't really know how much damage you did. There won't be an indication of how much damage you deal, and so you would have to guess how many. You would have to kind of guess how many damage you did, how many damage you need more to have your rocket, and switching to rocket launcher to shoot it is also risky because of the holster and speed penalty. It takes a bit of time to get out of shoot it. You may say, well, why don't you just switch to and reload if it's so long? Because it would still be faster, and it would still be also pretty a kind of surprise attack, and it would punish if you messed up and you actually didn't get a rocket back. So yeah, that's my idea for Soldier. Pyro, I don't want to make like a flare gun shotgun. It's just not fucking dumb. I'm not going to make a shotgun that creates burning player and all. First of all, I think that the reserve shooter should have should have a stat so that Pyro can actually use it, that it mini crits the player you put on fire. Will it be OP? Probably. I don't know. I don't care. That's not what it's about. For Pyro it's hard, because that means I cannot balance around fire. But again, with what else could I? Maybe. What's another Pyro mechanic that could work? Knockback. Yep. We're giving him a force of nature. So I thought of like a shotgun that only had one clip, and that would deal burst damage and knockback. It could also help you double jump like the force of nature, so that you would get mobility and burst damage. It would have a very slow reload speed, I say. It would have like a pretty long reload speed, and also a switch from and to penalty, so that you can just air blast someone in the air, shoot him, and just kind of do that, you see. Because like one air blast, one shot, one air blast, you can send someone very, very far away with that. So yeah, I think this would be a good idea, some kind of mobility and knockback item for Pyro. Is it bad? Maybe. But I don't want like a shotgun that just set people on fire, or just mini crit people that are on fire. That's just dumb. For heavy, I have the perfect idea. A shotgun that heals you when you deal damage, kind of like the conch bonus. When you hit someone, you gain a bit of health back, like 20% of the damage you deal comes back to you as health. That would be a pretty good way. Knowing the max amount of damage you can do with a shotgun is 90. That means you pretty much get 18, 17 health max. Yeah, maybe buff that to a 30%. Like that's, or maybe a bit more. Like give this a slower firing speed and less ammo, and and a smaller clip. That would be, and that would make it pretty balanced. A way to sustain health while still having a way to fight. Because let's just say, if it doesn't heal, it's never going to be used. The sandwich is used because it's very good at healing. So not giving this heal mechanic would just make the shotgun not used at all. A speed boost just doesn't seem very good on paper. Like having a shotgun that gives you a speed boost for the damage you deal, I don't really know. I mean, that could be an idea, but not a really big fan of it, in my opinion. But so that's it. Tell me what you think in the comments. Was this a good video? Was this instructive? Should I go do what the black guy with lightning told me to do? Maybe. That, I don't know. That's for you to decide. And yeah. Also, don't expect consistency on this channel. I'm still in school. School is an asshole. It's hard to do. I'm very lazy, extremely lazy. So you'll get a video once every month or so, something like that. Why did I take a fucking Russian accent? Anyway, this was the French troll. I hope you liked the video, and yeah, I'm out.